Today I'm featuring my Aurelia. I've had the mother plant for this one for several years, and this one is one we just propagated from her a couple of months ago. So if you are a cook with any kind of experience, you know that part of cooking is trying new things and learning and making mistakes and just trying. So since I became gluten-free, and then some of my family members that live here are vegan, I've been trying to adapt to make some recipes that are good and have a good texture. It can be such a hard thing to do when you're taking away the gluten and, all animal products. So with that said, I'm going to attempt to make the oatmeal cake, the oatmeal picnic cake that I made in my last video, but I'm going to add some things to it and I'm going to make it vegan. So wish me luck and come along with me for the ride. So to get started with the oatmeal banana picnic cake, we're going to go ahead and measure out the oats. So it calls for 1 cup quick oats. These are not quick oats. As you can see, these are Bob's Red Mill organic extra thick rolled oats. I'm pretty sure they're going to work just fine because any oats that I've ever used for this cake have been just fine. So I'm going to put in 1 cup of that, and in an effort to convert this cake to convert this cake to vegan without using eggs, we're going to use a little bit of chia seeds. If you're not familiar with them, they don't have a lot of taste, but when added to liquid, they get gelatinous. You really don't have to do anything to them except add liquid, and they turn into a gelatinous substance that people will eat and drink and call it chia pudding. I'm not a fan because I don't like things with that texture, but they do give you some structure in vegan baked goods since you can't use eggs. Now I had 1.25 cups of water boiling on the stove. I measured that before, so I'm going to put that in there. Now this has to sit for 20 minutes. So while this is sitting, I'm going to prepare the rest of the recipe. So this won't be like normal oats when we check it and add it to our recipe because of the chia. It'll have a little bit of a different texture to it. All right, to assemble the cake, I've started with 1 cup of brown sugar and 1 cup of white sugar. I'm gonna add 2 very ripe bananas to this. Since we don't have eggs, I'm just gonna mash this in like I was creaming butter and sugar together, or eggs and sugar. These are really, really soft. All right, so I'm gonna mash those in there. Now remember, I'm winging this, so I don't be surprised if I change things as we're going. So far it's 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of white sugar, 2 ripe bananas, very ripe bananas. Back over here first. Yeah, we're getting there. I'm going to add the oat and chia mixture. So if you were able to see the oatmeal picnic cake video, the mass was much, much softer. This is much more structured and really struggling to find a word there, but it's just different. So I'll mix that in. I can definitely see the structure of these oats completely because they're the extra thick. I would normally have regular oats on hand, rolled oats, or even maybe quick oats sometimes, but this should still be just fine. Half a cup of coconut oil. You can use whichever oil you want. I would typically use canola, but obviously I need a shopping trip because I'm low on a lot of my baking goods. Okay. So this is kind of like our wet ingredients. Now I measured out 1.5 cups of gluten-free flour blend. I'm going to add that in. And then a teaspoon of salt. A teaspoon of baking soda. And a teaspoon of cinnamon. A little over, but that's okay. I am a fan of cinnamon. All right, and then I'm gonna get a spatula so I can stir this better than this fork. It's excellent for mashing bananas, not so much for stirring a big amount of stuff. Just give it a little stir here. I'm hopeful about this. I think hopefully we have the right amount of goods in here to where we'll have a nice texture on this cake. I know when I made the gluten-free version of the oatmeal picnic cake, it worked well. So we're just doing a variation on that to make it vegan. All right, I like the way the batter looks. All right, and then so we're gonna use a metal pan. This one's aluminum. I wanna use that because this has to go back under the broiler. So I'll spray it with cooking spray. And I'll add the batter. Sorry. Not a great angle there. Sorry about that. Right. And then we'll spread it out. It looks good. It actually looks like cake batter. So we'll see what happens when we bake it. So this cake normally is $350 for 30 minutes. I think we'll check it at 30 minutes. I know a lot of times gluten-free things need a little longer to cook, so we will check this in 30 minutes. All right, I'm putting together the topping for the cake. So it's 1/2 cup of Smart Balance spread. And 1 cup of brown sugar. So this is a 1/3 cup measure. 1, 2, 3. All right, and this is the coconut that I have. It's Let's Do Organic brand, unsweetened shredded coconut. This is something that either my daughter or her boyfriend bought, and I'm going to use it because we're out of regular sweetened flaked coconut. So we'll bring this to a boil for 5 minutes, and then we'll add 2/3 of a cup of this. All right, the timer just went off on the cake, and I'm gonna take a peek. Well, it looks like cake. I'm not confident that it's done though. I'm gonna get it out and see what I think. All right, I'm just gonna feel it a little. Oh no, it's still super soft. So I'm gonna do 10 more minutes because it doesn't feel firm enough to me. All right, I just felt the top of the cake and it's feeling a little bit more firm to me. So I'm confident that in 4 minutes when this timer goes off that we will be ready to go. So I just turn the topping on. Gonna let it simmer until it till the timer goes off, and then we'll make the topping. Okay, so I've noticed that when I'm making the vegan version of this topping, it thickens up much quicker because it's just the Smart Balance spread and the sugar. So it's only been boiling for like 2 minutes, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. I'm gonna pop the cake out. Well, actually first, because it's still in the oven, the timer just went off. So I'm going to add the 2/3 cup of the unsweetened shredded coconut. Stir that up. It looks like a big pot of happiness to me. All right, let me grab the cake. All right, so this ended up baking 40 minutes and it's nice and firm on top. So I'm not going to check it with a toothpick because the texture is different. Sometimes even if a gluten-free cake is done, it won't come out clean all the way. So there's no sense in doing that in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and turn the broiler on. All right, and then I'm going to pour this on. Oh yeah, I'm liking the way that looks. I want to make sure I get every tiny little bit of it because it is delicious. And I think probably since it is already thickened up a lot, it may not even take the 5 minutes under the broiler. So I would recommend watching it for sure because we definitely do not want to burn this goodness. All right, it's just been about 3 minutes and I took it out. Looks delicious to me. So it's going to take this a while to cool, but when it does, I will cut into it and we'll check the texture of it and the taste of it together. And in the meantime, I'll let you enjoy this bubbling deliciousness. It definitely smells good. This cake is done. And it's been cooling for a while. It's not all the way cool, but it's getting late and I'm getting tired and I am really excited to try it. So I'm going to cut a small piece and taste it so the top is nice and crunchy. That's how it's supposed to be. I'm actually thinking after trying the vegan topping, I actually like it better than the traditional topping because it does actually get more crunchy and I really, really like that. So I'm probably going to switch to the vegan topping anytime I make the cake. All right, so it looks very, very moist like the original. I'm going to give it a taste here. Looks delicious, I must say. I'm not sure how I feel about the banana in it, so let's see. Oh my goodness. Well, I've never had banana cake. But if I had to describe it, it's like banana bread on steroids times 1,000. It's actually very, very, very delicious. I think it's a win. Actually, for a vegan, gluten-free recipe, I really feel like it's delicious. Sorry for my appearance. I already got back in my house dress and I'm comfortable and sleepy, but I'm going to give this cake a try here. It's so good. It's so good. I can't even describe it though. I think it's as good as the original cake, honestly. The texture is great. It feels like I'm eating cake. And that's not that common for gluten-free baked goods to feel like you're actually eating what you're eating because the texture can be off, but it's delicious. So it was an experiment. I think it went well. I'm impressed. I love it. And so this video will get posted. All right. Well, thanks for joining and watching with us here at Home with Shannon. As you can see, my kitchen is well used. You might see a little dish from here and there, a little dust from here and there, you know, because I mean, our kitchen is heavily used, so you may see those things. But I'm always cleaning and know that, you know, my kitchen is clean. So have a good night and we appreciate you.